So guys, today's question's a little bit different, but I'm going to read it off and we'll dig into it. So it comes from Slava. I don't know if that's their real name, but that's the name that they put in there. It says, in your YouTube videos, you always maintain an attitude of humility, respect, and patience. I've never detected a single note of condescension in your voice. Every good person tries to stay humble, but you're so consistent with your patience, it's remarkable. You're just being nice now. How do you do it? We're all human, and we all get pulled into condescension from time to time. It's easy to think, though, quote, this is a stupid question, or this person is an idiot, etc. Do you go through a mantra every time you answer a question to center yourself, or does it come naturally? The last part he says is, I'm making an effort to act this way in my field, but it's easy to get pulled into negativity, condescension, and cynicism. Could you give me some advice on how to maintain a humble, playful, positive attitude in practice and in life? Okay, so cool. So brother, thank you so much for the question, Slava. I think you're a guy. So let me share it like this. Let me get you to think about this. Think about something in your life where you felt embarrassed. Let me just close your eyes and think about it for a second. Think about like a situation where you maybe talked to someone or you asked someone for something and they made you feel absolutely stupid for even asking the question, right? Everybody's probably had that at some point, right? Now think about that moment, and I want you to think about how you felt when someone made you feel that way, right? How'd that feel? Right? Everybody's had that experience and it doesn't feel good. So why on earth would you want to make someone else feel that way? Right? I mean, it's a simple thing, right? Like again, we're all human, right? We all have insecurities, we all have strengths, we all have weaknesses. No matter how well we all got this thing figured out, one thing changes and poof, it's all up in smoke, right? You've seen people who like they look like on the surface they had it all figured out, and then all of a sudden some ambulance went to ambulance changes. Right when I was in the middle of it too. I was like, ah. One thing changes and all up in smoke. There's people that you've seen like where they had all their stuff together and all of a sudden like a stock market crashes or some like legal thing changes and poof, it's all gone, right? So no matter what, we're all doing the best we can. So I would never want to make someone feel negative like that. I would never want to talk down to someone, and I don't feel like that I have the place. Because again, condescension is saying that I'm above you, speaking down with you with disdain, and I don't feel like I have the right to do that to any human being. Again, we all mess up and we say things we shouldn't, but again, generally speaking, I don't feel like I should ever do that, at all. Now, the one thing that I think about also is that when you guys ask questions, I think about myself in that situation, because I'll tell you what, one of the things that jiu-jitsu's given me over the span of my adulthood, because I started jiu-jitsu when I was 18 years old, has been this sort of council of elders, if you will, right? Like you look at older cultures, right? Like I'm big into like Joseph Campbell stuff, and you look at the way that older cultures were formed. There was always this council of like older guys, and women too, but speaking from a man's standpoint, it just is really helpful for us to have like some guys that have been there, done that. You would have this council of elders that would then help the young men along the way so they made better choices in their life, right? Because they'd been there, they'd made the mistakes, and they helped guide them a little bit and give them some perspectives. And this started off like early in my jiu-jitsu. I remember when I was still like I guess I was a blue belt at the time, maybe a white belt. But I remember I came to the gym, and my buddy who did jiu-jitsu in California, we used to talk on the internet, he told me to read this investment book. He was a banker. His name was Sam. He's out in California. And I remember I was reading this investment book. And one of the other white belts, his name was Al. He was an older guy who had done all kinds of businesses and stuff. He sees me do it, and he goes, what are you reading there? And I told him about it, and he was like, why don't we come have lunch sometime, and I'll show you a few things. And I was like, okay, sure, whatever. So he starts showing me these houses he bought and flipped, some of the houses he held on to and he rents. He showed me the other businesses he ran and some of the franchises that he owns. So the guy's I didn't realize it, right? The guy was like all into all these different things, and he showed me how he ran the businesses and all this other stuff. Took time out of his day for years. I still talk to the guy. He's still a mentor, right? And he did it just because he was helping, right? Just extending a hand to someone else. Man, that's awesome. And he showed me perspectives I would have never been exposed to. There was another guy that owned a gym. His name was Jim, and he shared all these little gyms along the way just because he had done something. And so I'm a young kid, and I was like, oh my God, like this guy owns a gym that's so cool. And I would ask him questions, and he would be more than happy to talk to me about them. And then even now, like in the gym now, like where I'm the head coach, there's still some of the older guys that have areas of their life that they're far developed more than mine, or they have areas of expertise that I don't. And I'll come up to him, ask questions. Like we have a guy that he's a lawyer, and I'll ask him legal questions. I was like, what do you think about this? And he'll give me his answers. I have a good friend of mine, like who, like I just ask him, like I just feel like he's a good introspective person, so I'll ask for his perspectives on things because he'll shoot me straight. If I think, or if he thinks I'm in the wrong, he'll tell me. If he thinks that I'm doing the right thing, he'll tell me, and he just gives me an angle on it so I can see from the outside. And so I ask questions all the time, right? As any good, smart person should. And so when you guys ask questions to me, I can't possibly look at you like this person's an idiot. What a dumb question, because I'm looking at you as someone like me, like who's trying to figure this stuff out. And so for me to look at you like you're stupid, or just to look at you with condescension, I would have to do the same thing to myself, because I ask questions all the time. So again, I think that it's really useful to have, like, because going back to this council of elder things, right? There's not a lot of places outside in society today where you can go and there's a group of older people, men or women, that are there opening willingly there to help you, right? It's very hard to find. And so we have the internet now, so you can say, hey, Chew, I have a question about something. I'm not giving you the answer that I'm sharing with you is not the way. It's not the way. It's, hey, here's what I think about it. Here's a perspective for you to have. Here's an angle of looking at it. Take it for what you will, right? And I tell this to my girlfriend, all the time. I was like, if I ever become like one of those internet preachy assholes that tries to act like they got it all figured out, like, call me out on it, right? Don't let me do that, because I don't want to be that guy. But I do want to be someone that's been like all these other guys have been for me. Just someone that's like, hey, you got a question? Well, here's what I think, man. Hopefully this is helpful to you. And literally that kind of help has changed my life dramatically. And so with you guys, when you ask questions, I'm trying to do the same thing. I'm just like saying, hey, look, you're asking a question. I never asked for the questions. You guys started asking them, and I enjoy doing it. So, hey, take this and see what you want to do with it. Hopefully it's helpful to you, that kind of thing. That's the way that I go about the videos. And so I would never look at, someone with condescension. Again, it goes back to the golden rule, man. Like, I would never want to feel that way. I would never want to go to one of the people that I consider a mentor. I would never want to go to them and then say, man, what a fucking stupid question, right? I would never want to do it. It would friggin' that would make me feel terrible. And a lot of times I've asked questions that someone might say, oh, that's a stupid question. But instead, they help out. And I want to do the same thing to other people. I don't want to make someone feel negative. I don't want to make someone feel stupid for asking a question. And so in your own field, how to not fall into that trap, just remember that you're a human being and you got your own problems, your own mistakes, your own issues, your own insecurities. And you would never want to feel like that. So why make someone else feel that way? So that's it. So Slava, hope this is helpful to you, brother. And thank you so much for the question.